I was in 6 or 7 different prisons. So you can imagine being transferred around and going through that new fucking guy shit 6 or 7 times was a nightmare. But I was in this one place where, everybody was in a gang. If you're white, you had Nazi signs on you. If you were black, you're Blood or Crip. If you were Mexican, you were either Texas Syndicate or Mexican Mafia or Tongo Blast or something like this. Like no fucking free agents anywhere, right? I know. I only got 2 goddamn years in this bitch, not a life sentence like the rest of these fucking Peckerwoods with fucking Nazi signs and shit. And I don't really like them anyway. Not that they're really racist. They're just like, they have to fucking do it. It's prison, right? So it's different rules inside than maybe in Rainbow Land out here, right? And so, but I don't want nothing to do with that because at some point I'm going to get the fuck out really soon because I'm thinking I'm still only going to do 6 months, right? I'm still convinced that they sent me here, but my sentence is going to be shorter, right? And so anyway, I have to fight these guys because I refuse to get down with them. So I don't have to fight the fucking black guys. I don't have to fight the fucking Mexicans that's about all that's in Texas prison, white, black, Mexican. Like I got to fight the white guys because every day. But I tell you what, a couple, maybe like a month into it, because I'm not going to get down. I'm not going to owe favors when I get out or do dumb shit in there. I just don't have the capacity to do any of that. And I'm willing to fight not to deal with it, which would fucking turn out to be a good idea now. Really fucking shitty idea at the time, right? But the Hispanic people fucking saved me from it. They were like, hey, he didn't snitch. Like, we got this guy's fucking paperwork. Y'all are trying to put him on. He doesn't owe anybody's money. He didn't shoot nobody's house up. He wasn't gang banging. He didn't rip no drug dealers off. I'm an integrity-driven drug dealer over here. And they left me alone, man. They let me do my fucking time, in a place with murderers and crazy-ass people, man. They just let me fucking do my time. But when I got out, it's like, I ain't doing that shit again, all right? So I went back to work at the car wash.
Smart, yeah. And that's exactly where you should have went.
Yeah, exactly. So I went back to work at the car wash because who else is going to hire a convict, right? But I didn't do any drugs. Worked my ass off. Man, I'm going to own this motherfucker one day. And I still am, right? I realized they just sold that location. I didn't know it was for sale or I would have bought it. But I got somebody looking into it for me now. But anyway, I want to own it. But I go to the car wash and take this job, and I'm just going to be the best car wash person there is. But one day, and this is an important lesson, like hard work may seem like it, your hard work may seem, if you're really working hard, it may seem like it's going unnoticed, but the right person will eventually notice it because hard work eventually goes unnoticed until you cannot ignore it. And I just worked so hard at this car wash that this lady, she would come in once a week and it wasn't for her. She wasn't attractive. I didn't like her. I didn't think nothing of her, but she'd watched every time as I'd worked in this place. So after a couple of months, she says, I want to give you a job. I got a job. I work here at the car wash. I'm the manager, right? And she's like, no. I want to give you a job in finance. I'd barely heard that word before. And she said mortgages. I'd never heard that word before. I'm like, what's a mortgage? She goes, like a bank, finance, blah, blah. She said a bunch of big words. I'm like, I'm out. I got like a 9th grade education and I'm a convicted felon. Like, I appreciate the sentiment, lady. But she goes, you'll be fine. We'll take you, And she convinced me she was a closer. She convinced me to lay my keys down to the car wash to the assistant manager and start work for her on Monday. That Saturday, so go to work for her on Monday. That Saturday, I'm at my friend's parents' house, and I realized that they lived there for like 20 years. It's like, you ever heard of something called a refinance? It was like a word that I heard at the office that week, right? The word of the week.
It's just like a sticky note with one word on it, refinance.
Like, word of the week,
Just go around and
refinance.
tell people this.
And they're like, we can't do that. We have bankruptcy and we're not able to. And I was like, I think you can. Let me hook you up with this lady that I started working for. And they're like, weren't you washing our car last week? It's like, never mind that. Let me hook you up with this lady. Anyway, long story short, within like 3 weeks, I got like $8,300. Bro, I was fucking rich. You know what I mean? Like I'd never.
That's a lot of cars.
A lot of cars.
That you would have to wash.